You're listening to Confessions of a Counselor podcast. Here we will talk all things mental wellness.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Confessions of a Counselor. It's Janice here, and today I thought we would talk about the pause button. So this is a tool that I use and have been using for so long now. This is what I would call one of my basic skills. So pretty much every client who walks through my office will learn this skill. Actually, you know what? I think 100% of my clients have learned this skill. It's so very important. So this is the concept that when we start to notice that we are heading out of our window, so we're heading out of the window of tolerance, this is a skill that I start to bring in. I find it most effective with my clients who experience anxiety, but we can really use it in any scenario where we find that we are heading out of our window. So let's talk about this. We're experiencing a situation. Let's talk about an example. So we get into a fight with our partner and we start to feel really, really anxious, like they're going to leave. They're so upset about this argument that they're no longer going to want to be with us. So the fight is escalating. What I want you to do in this situation is to imagine, here's your visual, a big stop sign. So big stop sign. And when that stop sign comes up, we pause. We get our feet on the ground and we take 3 deep breaths. So not a breath, but a breath. A right from the bottom of your gut breath. And what this is going to do is it's going to help our nervous system to reattach. So like we were talking about the flipped lid, those 3 deep breaths are going to reattach our front brain. And this is the easiest way to remember that we're in this moment and no other moment. So when we can remind ourselves, I'm here, I'm okay, then we can start to practice our skills. So the first thing that we want to do before we start to try and think about all of our skills or have access to all of our skills is to use the pause button. And when we use something consistently over time, then it starts to be more accessible to our hind brain because it's something that we practice all of the time. So this pause button is our reminder to come back to the moment. So the skill is stop, get my feet on the ground, and take 3 deep breaths. So someone can notice us doing this. Oftentimes, no one even knows that we're practicing a skill. So this is something that we can use pretty much universally to help us to come back to the moment and start to decrease the risk of us getting knocked out of our window because we're experiencing an emotion too much. So this is a skill that I kind of say is like the buffer skill, the first skill to practice. And then if we still need help kind of grounding or coming back to our window, then we can start to use other skills that we talk about here. As with any skill, we want to use the walk back process. So say we got into that fight with our partner. It got escalated. Everyone got upset. We end up walking away and revisiting this topic at another time. And the next day you remember, oh yeah, I was feeling really stressed in that moment. I want to practice the skill when we remember it. So practice getting your feet on the ground and taking 3 deep breaths. Even though you're just thinking about the event, what's going to happen is we're going to remind ourselves that this is a skill that we can use, and eventually it'll walk back to being able to use it in that moment. So this is the pause button. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Confessions of a Counselor podcast is available anywhere you like to listen to your podcast, both on Apple and Android. New episodes will be released every Friday. If you enjoyed this podcast, please feel free to join the conversation. Leave a review or subscribe to the podcast hosted on the Anchor app. All these details can be found at janicelyons.com. Until next time, take care.